Greetings and welcome to the show. I'm here with Forlo, Brabdo, and Colin for Video Game Book Club. The rules are simple. You beat a game, and then you get to pick the next game once your month comes around. I got to pick the game this month. It was Code Vein, made by Bandai Namco, who you might know from
Ooh.
the Idolmaster Million Live Theater Days and Naruto X Boruto Ninja Voyage. It is a
And only
anime
those.
yeah, it's an anime girl boy character creator with a mediocre Souls-like attached. And inside of that is a gigantic cathedral maze, which I will be talking about for the most of this time. I also beat AI Limit, Final Fantasy Strangers in Paradise, and Dark Souls 3 this month. What'd you guys play?
And then all the
Animal
endings
Crossing.
blend together for him. What do we do? Animal Crossing?
What? Whoa!
What are you
I tried
talking
to
about?
slip that by real quick. Wait,
How
what
you
do you
playing
mean?
that?
I was working on my island. What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
Your island?
Dude. No,
He's
no,
gotta
no,
pay that
no.
Tom Nook, dude.
How I see what he's talking about when he says 51st state, dude.
Dude. I can see the vision. I've been playing
Go
that
on.
Kingdom Come Deliverance too. Fire.
That's it?
That's it. It's good. Play it.
No nubby?
No nubbies number game, no Balatro.
I'm on the nubby.
You are on the nubby. Did you get the God run?
Yeah, I got the pregnancy test.
Peak.
I'm not tapped in. This sounds ridiculous to me.
It's much better than working on my island in 2025.
Wait,
Dude, what how else is he gonna use this teal switch light?
Got Spiritfarer on there too, bud?
Whoa.
What's
fighting words.
Wait. What's wrong with me just chilling out working on my island? You gotta come on.
We're halfway through 2025.
Uh-huh.
We're way past working on our island.
We gotta find a new island. I've never played an Animal Crossing.
I would respect more if you told me you were playing City Folk on the Wii.
What even?
So we start out and there's like a tree with blood on it, and this barely dressed woman bites your arm.
No, you start out in the training area.
Yeah,
Okay,
you don't forget about-
there's a needless tutorial where you're in a cave and it teaches you how to hit things, and then you go outside and there's a tree with blood on it, and a girl bites your arm and you pass out.
And you're forgetting
Um,
about the 7 hours you spent in the character creator.
That's true. Okay, so I spent 2 hours and 14 minutes, I did write it down,
What
creating
the
my character.
What is wrong with you?
What
I
the
like
Spent-
character creation.
You spent
Well, I
over
get
2
you.
hours creating your character.
Correct.
I was
I
there.
That
spent
is
less
why I
than
picked
5
the
minutes.
game, among other reasons. I picked the game for many reasons, but
Less
the
than
character
5
creator was the
minutes.
main reason.
It's not
Thoughts
even
on the
that
character
in-depth.
creator?
It's
I mean,
whatever.
It was pretty.
I thought it was very
character
mid.
creation.
I was a little disappointed because Frank said this is one of the best character creators.
I was lied to. It is not one of the best character creators.
There's like 5 hairstyles for dudes on there.
So after you get out of character creator, and then it's just vampire shit for a while.
Called Revenants, dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We're
with
not
it.
gonna,
Get your
we're not
blood
gonna besmirch
veiny and
the
the veiny
vampire
blood.
name.
yeah.
And we love the word besmirch.
These are the worst vampires. They're not vampires. Gotta catch myself. Revenants.
I'm calling them. I'm not calling them
They're
that.
not vampires, dude.
They just suck blood.
No
and
wings. No wings. You're walking around in the sun all fucking day. Game's very sunny.
The revenants can't die unless you destroy their heart. You don't necessarily need a wooden stake, but essentially you could get chopped up into a billion pieces, and
Oh,
as
so
long as
hold
the
on.
heart
See, that did make sort of Lost, not Revenants. 'Cause I thought the Lost were Revenants that go into
no,
a
the
frenzy.
revenants, were
Yeah.
made the revenants were made to kill the queen, but the Lost are
Revenants that go in a frenzy, right?
yeah, they're like, what's the best way? They're like nobodies and heartlesses. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
See, that's what
That's not
pissed me.
making things less complicated.
No, but I don't remember ever killing anything by fucking hitting it in the heart. Killed about a
I
million
also don't
enemies.
remember that either. I remember hitting something in the foot and it dying a bunch of times.
I think there's a fatal flaw in their biology of these revenants, dude. Something's
Well,
not adding up there.
every time I get hit or pass out, Louis will go, "Oh, good thing your heart's still intact," and revive me. Um, but I
Okay,
don't think anybody
If
touched
he
my
feels
heart.
like it.
I
If
looked
he
up some
feels
clarification. The Lost are revenants who have turned into dark, malevolent monsters by succumbing to their bloodlust and losing their humanity. So they're still revenants, technically.
they're just
Yeah.
bad guys.
So I think you can just kill them by hitting them. And we got a conspiracy on our hands.
that we
Yeah.
might.
Conspiracy.
So eventually you make it to the hub world, and the chick with the bandages is there, and your homeboy
Io.
Louis is there,
Did
and
you use Louis the whole game?
I used Louis for the vast majority of it, and then I started to use Mia, the chick with the gun and the ridiculous hat.
See, you should have used Yakamoto.
Yeah.
That dude's busted.
I was using Jack, dude.
I
Jack
just
was
unlocked with Yakamoto the whole fucking game.
Like that guy does whatever he wants. He never dies.
I just insta swapped to him pretty much like as soon as I could have, and then just stuck with him the whole time.
wasn't tapped in.
So what the fuck is going on with these names? This is one thing I hate about like Japanese games sometimes. You'll have Chris and then fucking Sasuke Uchiha. Like what?
You have Louis, and then you'll have this freaking.
Yakamoto Homohodara.
Oh yeah,
What
makes perfect sense.
That's
dude,
his name, dude.
come on.
What? That's his name.
He's not wrong.
That was flagrant. That's a personal foul.
Why is that a
That's
personal
wild.
foul? Why is that wild?
Flag on the flag.
Where's the flag?
I liked Mia Kernstein and who else was there? Ava Rowe? I don't know, dude. So the people you're with are important, but only mechanically to me, because the only person I really cared about was Louis, because he was always by my side. But what they'll do is they'll bleed all over you and then show a cutscene that's sometimes needlessly long, and they unlock a new class for you.
Every time needlessly wrong.
There's like 40 fucking classes in this game. But in reality, you'll make your own by just ripping the skills from other classes and putting them on a class that gives you the stats you need to carry your weapon. Speaking of weapons, I used a hammer the whole time.
Me too.
They use
Nice.
this Y handler.
Nice.
It's a
What'd you
Weigler
use,
sword.
Brabdo?
I was the only one rocking the short sword, apparently.
Yeah, Brabdo was correct. I beat the game with the hammer, and then I did the DLC with the short sword because the short sword shits out more damage than the damage-dealing hammer. I did not know that playing this game.
You should have used this Y handler, dude.
This Y handler I picked up, and I'm like, this isn't a hammer, I can't use it, but I wanted to use it because it had the most damage on, like, it was like the biggest stat stick.
Oh wait, I lied. I didn't use. I used a halberd the whole time. I misremembered.
Use fed lies.
I did.
Who remembers the Citadel?
The Citadel.
Citadel was a place I had to look up how to get through, and it still took me almost 2 hours with a guide.
I'm impressed with myself. How like I got like 90% of the way through before I looked something up.
Well, there's like parts in there that I don't know how you would like. You could easily just like, oh, you're supposed to drop from this ledge.
Yeah, just the
How
one
the fuck
part
are
you
you
gotta
supposed to know?
drop down the side, but not the first side, the second side, and then you gotta like wind around back to where you were, but now on a different level, and then come through.
I walked through that fucking shit. Wasted so much goddamn time.
That's where the game was fine for me, and then I got there and I'm like, this game's kind of ass. It didn't really like fix itself
It
after that in
slowed
any
to
way.
a crawl, and you kinda had to, like, zombie your way through it. And
When
then it
you
has the
have a
audacity to make you go through it again.
So I've played a lot of games like this now, and all of them have some shit ass like the floor is lava or the floor is poison water level. This game has that too. When your poison water level is not the worst level in your game, huge problem. Because the Citadel looks great and it's bright and I like it,
And it
but the
but it also
Citadel is the worst level by a mile. It needed to be cut.
it is it's just way too long, but it looks cool for about 5 minutes. The fact that you have to run through it for, like, literally hours,
Yeah,
it makes
and
it,
then it
like
gets bright and nauseating, like
Yeah, it only looks the same the entire way through, so you
yeah,
actually have
lit
no idea where you are because every single wall looks identical.
yeah.
Every floor, every room, every chamber you're in, it's all identical.
I know you've
yeah,
seen this, spiral staircase 10 minutes ago, but here's another one, and now you're
It's
going
exactly the
down the spiral
same,
staircase.
but it's not the same. Awful.
but then you get to the end of it, and you get the coolest cutscene in the game, where Louis' sister or cousin or whatever the fuck is inside of, like, this sick-ass blood tree, and it looks awesome, and then the rest of the game story kinda tapers off after that.
Is that
They hit
before or after
one
you like
emotional point.
strange dog human hybrid creature
It's right after you beat that thing. Those
that
are called the,
thing?
what were they called? Servants? I forgot what they were, something with an S.
Boss. They were all just bosses to
No,
me.
no, these were important bosses,
Awesome.
dude. They were holding the queen back. You don't even know the lore, bro.
Let's see.
I destroy games.
The gameplay was
True.
the gameplay was unironically a snore fest.
I have never played a game like this where I have beaten so many bosses the first try.
It's
And I
just
know for
like there's not even one experimental thing. Like
Well, and
they
I thought
got every
mecha
little single thing is just a renamed, reskinned thing from any other Souls-like, if not just directly from a Souls game.
and I felt like it was so convoluted too. Like the UI and like just the way everything, I was like, this is like
And your
needlessly confusing.
vein bloods.
Yeah, I was like, why is it so confusing? I don't know. I feel like they just named shit randomly and put it in weird spots.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out some of this stuff, but then when I realized that it's all just like a repainted,
Right.
mechanics from every other Souls-like ever, I was like, ah. But there's like nothing unique at all. Not a unique finishing attack there's attacks and charge attacks and parries and block
Roll.
and dodge roll. And the only unique thing gameplay wise, like even collecting items, like it's the same shinies on the ground, no unique puzzles, there's chests.
Oh, can we
Like-
talk about all the useless items you pick up?
Yeah, well, it's the exact same thing as every
Dude,
other
Awake
Souls-like.
EJ745, dude. It's how
Well,
many
no,
of those
you
did you pick up?
Use those
They're not
to,
useless.
you can like upgrade your shit with them.
Yeah, except for that you
I-
have
I-
like a viable end game build by like the first like 3 hours, so then every item you pick up after that is totally useless.
Well, that's one thing I do like about the game. I think it's stupid that you have to use awakes to level up. I think you should have just used other shit. Well, no, it's different. Okay, so you use the souls to unlock the move, and then you use the awakes to synthesize the move to put it into other classes.
You don't even have
My-
to do that if you just put them on your bar and then use the moves, then you don't need to use the awakes.
You have to
But you
master
can-
the
you
move
can
to
use
put-
the,
to
you can
use
use
the
the-
moves on different classes.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but you still have to master the
have to-
move.
Yeah, you don't have to use the awake though. If you just
It takes a
No,
long
you have to
time, though.
use it to master it though. And the wake's just insta master it.
yeah, it's always like you use it like 10 times if that, and then
No,
it's,
so I don't
it's
want to
mastered.
play 10 shitty classes to get their skills, so I just awake to put it on my good thing. You know what
I mean, you
saying?
could do that, but if you just like I don't know,
Or I could spend
there's only
20
8
hours
skills
playing.
in the game, and it like
What do you mean? There's
lot of
like
them you-
fucking 100 skills.
there's
in the
only
game.
you're only gonna use 8 skills at a time in the game. So like, if you're like trying to figure out what your build is gonna be, you're like, okay, I want this one. I'm not gonna get this one, so why would I?
There
So I
are a
gotta
lot
play
of
fucking shitter
All of 'em are-
mage for 2 hours, and then
Most
another
of 'em are
shitter
totally
mage for 2
useless.
Like what?
There is a
Like-
bunch of redundant skills too. To be like, this cures this, and it'd be like, "This also cures this, but it does something a little different." I'm like,
Oh,
"Okay."
it's the
But
fire blast. Oh, it's the
I
lightning
got
blast.
strength and dex, strength and something else, and then fucking the wave concussor that every time I hit the ground with my weapon, it makes a shock wave. So I just spammed left click with my hammer, and I just perma stun locked every boss and enemy with shockwave hammer attacks, and that was the whole thing.
My favorite one is the one that, like, would knock people back a little bit because they would come and get you on the narrow thing, and you could just, like, yeet them off the ledge.
That's alright, so, this game does what every other game in the genre does, where they, like, hide enemies on because every single level is just you're on top of
They
an
think they're so
infinitely
cute.
downward spiral of nothingness, and you can't fall off of it, right? But they hide enemies on the edges, and, they don't hide them well, and I think on purpose, um 'cause you wanna go up there and just smack 'em. So if you have some type of shockwave move, those enemies are kinda negligible. Um, they are not coded to stay on the screen. They will just use their gap closing move and roll off the edge all the time. Um, I like the freedom that you have to make a class. However, because of the game's difficulty, you kinda have to make it difficult yourself if you want to. Like, hammer build is not quote unquote optimal. It is more than viable. Half the people in this in the show today beat it with hammer build.
I had my eyes closed the whole time,
Yeah.
really.
the only way to
Nah,
make the
the
game
shit
actually
was
hard is
goo goo gaga, dude.
well, if you play without a partner, it's probably kinda hard.
Which
Yeah.
I tried it a couple times, and some bosses you don't need a partner for, sometimes you do. There's a lot of bosses with nukes in this game, where
Well,
they'll just hit the bell and you'll explode.
there's
So you
also
have to
the dual bosses would be pretty fucking annoying without the
Oh, or
partner.
yeah, Orenstein and Smo are really bullshit with their fire and ice.
That was unironically the hardest boss in the game, I think.
It is the hardest boss for sure.
Probably.
I think that's the boss I spent the most time on, aside from the fire boss in the DLC.
This
Um,
DLC enjoyer over here.
yeah, the DLC is mid. You don't have it's the best bosses in the game, but they're not
Well,
worth
you didn't fight the true boss, right? You didn't get the good ending.
I fought the Virgin Lord.
Yeah, wait, so you got either the good ending or the mid ending.
I got the mid ending.
Yeah, I got the bad ending, I didn't fight that thing.
Yeah, I fought the Skull King, and then I fought the Virgin Lord.
But it was an option to not fight that.
If you don't
Brabdo's remissed.
if you don't, I don't know what I didn't do. If you don't complete
You don't
this
save any of the successors.
why, I saved some of it, I just didn't fully save any of them.
How do you
Gotcha.
not do that?
I don't know, I didn't grab all the shit. You gotta run around and grab
Um
all these I hated that.
Yeah, there is some obtuse shit, like, I wanted to get the hammer specific class, and to do that, you had to grab all the vestiges in a level before you, like, fight the boss, and I did not do that. I tried to go back and get the vestiges in the snow level, and there was no way to get that hammer class, it was locked forever,
I
which
hated the
is
invasion
fine.
shit.
The endless waves of nonsense
Yeah,
where, like, those probably killed me
That shit
more
was
than any
dumb as
boss
fuck.
did,
That's the only thing that ever fucking killed me in the entire game.
dude, they
Like,
put the
that
because they
one
shit was
never
just
stopped
dumb.
coming.
they put the one in the Citadel, it's like which is pretty early in the game, it's, like, before halfway, and you literally like, people have said, like, "Yeah, you probably can't beat it." It's like an end game fucking thing. Like, this is so bullshit.
Yeah, I think I tried it 10, 15 times before I stopped trying to do that invasion. The Citadel sucked. I can't stress that enough. Out of all of the game, the Citadel sucked the most. It completely took a fucking damper on the whole game for me. Um, there's too many, like, debuffs in this game. There's poison and slow, and then they add more shit like leak, and leak is just poison and slow put together, and it's every boss from halfway on ends up having some new bullshit debuff, and then every class ends up having a resistance to that debuff.
That's crazy.
Thought it was just
And then it's
like
like, yeah, there's a lot of like mechanics in the game that you just don't. They're just totally unnecessary to interact with at all.
all of them.
Like all the bosses are weak to this. They're strong to. Okay, I'm just swinging my sword at them. What?
Yeah, you just hit him with the
The
sword.
boss can't move. What do you mean he's weak to this?
Yeah,
Like what?
doesn't really make sense.
There's a couple more mechanics that I didn't really use that much. There's different parry timings for which armor you have on, and there's only one armor piece. They're called blood codes.
Horrible name. Makes no
Y-
sense.
Yeah,
Calling the armor
Or-
because what are the classes called?
They're called.
maybe the classes are called blood codes, and
Oh,
the armor is called
Armor's
blood
called Blood
something else.
Veil. It's Blood Veil.
Blood veils. Yeah, sorry. Well, if the mechanic doesn't have blood or vein in it, I don't care. Like.
Dude, a certain blue affiliated street gang would not be a fan of this game.
Crips.
But yeah. So I didn't parry much because there's no need to, and I didn't use the blood move because there's a move with blood attached to it.
You could deal blood damage. It's a lot of
Yeah.
blood.
So the blood move, you could do it straight outright, or you could do it in combo. I would do it in combo sometimes, but it does mid damage depending on how you're building your character, so I didn't fuck with it. There's like 15 different blood things in this game, and none of them really matter.
You know, let me hop over to the Wikipedia and type in blood and see how much stuff comes up.
Well, first we got the blood springs, and then there's the blood fruit, which comes from the blood trees. And you hang out with your friends to get codes, and the blood trees. Oh, the blood fruit is called blood beads.
There's like 9 pages. You got blood weapons, blood markers, ablative blood code, pure blood sacrifice, blood cartridge, blood barrier tonics, blood veils, blood shots. It goes on.
Which I get, but also it doesn't help
come
with
on.
it being so convoluted to figure anything out when everything has the same similar name.
Oh, and then you get some weapons and items by building your relationship meter with your friends.
That's what
'cause
the
this game
pointless
is about friendship.
That's what the pointless items are for. Like you give people like cereal and vinyl records and eyeglasses.
Another
the best-
useless mechanic that you do not need to interact
Then
with.
but then you can get their weapon if you get 99
great.
friendship.
And then if you Google what the weapon stats, you realize that they're not as good as the one you already got, so you continue on your way.
Except for the executioner, because the executioner is absolutely fucking busted. And the most consistent way to get anybody to like you is get this to give them blood candy.
Makes sense.
Yeah, man, it's not naturally, dude. Everybody loves the blood.
What would a Revenant like most, dude? Blood candy.
So yeah, like there's some plot point where like revenants can't die, and unless their heart's punctured, and this was done by a queen or something. And
They killed a kid in this game.
They did kill a kid in this game.
No, see, this is how you guys don't remember. Nikolai doesn't die, dude.
Yeah, Nikolai stays alive forever.
No,
Yeah.
But he's like dead.
He gets turned to stone and then fades away into ashes. I saw it.
No, see, he didn't. But you didn't kill him. He chose to be a successor to protect
Which
what's her
means he
face.
died.
Yeah, but it's not. That's different from him killing a kid. He wasn't killed.
Well, he was killed earlier. He just didn't die when they killed him, and he just died later.
And that's the most emotional part in the game, and I gave no fucks about it.
Wait,
It's
Nikolai's
harmless.
the goat though.
I don't know if he's the GOAT. I want to be a mech. All right, bud.
Wait, he's
Sure
trying to.
thing, dude.
Wait, I don't know.
You don't remember that?
It was funny having him like jump at the boss
I
and get
remember
shit
that,
canned.
but I think realistically,
That
he's
boss
trying
was like one of the easiest ones.
to help
beat,
out.
too.
It
I
was
mean,
like 7.
Doesn't say his age is unknown, but he is 3'8".
Yeah, but you know that yeah, so you're right, maybe and he talks like a kid, so maybe he's old.
On this game, dude, he's at least 45.
Yeah, you're right, my bad.
But they live forever.
And that's pretty much it in story. I mean, you go to fight the you
Well, you
go to
better
fight
keep talking about story because, there's nothing in the gameplay. It's,
well, the gameplay is what you expect, you know? You hit things with your comically large weapon. Every boss has titties, and
Yeah.
I don't mind the excess of titties, but at one point, this game really took it to a head where I had to sit there and think long and hard on if every single boss needed to have a set of tits.
It
'Cause
yeah, it's what their answer was.
it was dude, it was too much. Like, every
even the
enemy
dog boss had a bitch strapped to its belly. Like,
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was all about.
and then you fight a cat. It also has them. It's like I and it was every character, like, you meet that was a female. It was absurd. It was too much. I get having, like, one character in there for being like, "Okay, that's that character," you know? Which is what I thought in the beginning when you meet what's her
Because
like,
the
Io.
first one you see.
I
yeah,
was
Io with her, like,
Yeah, no,
ridiculous
I agree. I
dress.
was like, "Oh, that's titty lady," you know,
it's
and
'cause, you know,
yeah.
like, games and shit, they do that. It's like, "Okay, that's that character. That's just that trope. Whatever, move on." It's like, no. She's not arguably not even the worst one. Like, there's
All of them be blowing in the wind.
yeah,
Dude,
some of them are
Yeah, none of
absurd,
these
dude.
tits have weight to them. They're made out of, like,
not those
helium.
ones, dude. Those ones are fucking cooking.
And then there's a chick sitting on a motorcycle, and her tits are super fake. Like, I get their pixels, but they make no sense.
Just every character. Especially the end. Like, the first boss you fight, that butterfly thing. Like,
Which
alright.
I was fine with the butterfly having tits. That made sense to me in my head somehow.
Yeah, and then what's the next boss? The next boss I remember just was stupid dumb. I think the one after
Well
that, though.
well, there's a sand boss, and the sand boss, like,
Slug.
has the worst move set ever, and I'm like, "Why does it have tits still?" Like,
That
there's no
one.
reason for this thing to still have breasts.
Even when you fight the 2 bosses, that one has them.
More bosses have breasts in this game than feet.
True.
True.
Which
A lot of them don't have feet for no reason, unexplained.
really shows you what kinda game
They're
you
like
picked, man.
peg-legged.
I didn't pick this game for the breasts, believe it or not.
It's that character creator.
I don't know who does. I'm
No,
not sure
I
who
no one would admit it, but there's definitely people who say this game's sick, and they skirt around that fact, but that's the reason they think this game's fucking cool. 'Cause there's really no it's just shitty Dark Souls. It's even shitty Dark Souls for, like, Dark Souls clones.
I thought it was a mobile game when we first started
Yes,
playing it.
I agree. I agree. It's not even, good on the scale
The
of
people that probably like it
It's not even the best Dark Souls clone I beat this month. I think AI
and the
Limited
people
is
that
better,
like it, they
genuinely.
just like
But
the
A
anime
not
the
fair, though.
anime the anime shit. That is literally the only reason they think it's cool. 'Cause I can't think of what else would you like?
Me personally, it was the large weapons. I like the large weapons more than the large breasts. If you cut out half the breasts and give me twice the amount of big weapons, I think the game's fine.
That's a take. But you also have to make the level design not ass too.
The level design
I
was
think
bad.
most of the levels are fine. It's just there's a couple that are so fucking atrocious that
The sand level is terrible.
the same
Well, I w
like 5 minutes.
we didn't like the big bug
I
throwing
know, but
rocks
it's like
at
the
you.
worst 5 minutes ever. Yeah, it was awful. And then and that's the only boss in the game with a walk back for some reason.
No, that boss is trolling. That boss doesn't know what's good. Doesn't hit you. It accidentally doesn't hit you.
But I still
It's not the
died
only
and had
boss with a
walk
walk back.
It's the only one that I remember having.
that's significant. It's definitely the most significant because, oh, I forgot. So if
Element.
you have the fucking FPS
Oh,
over
yeah,
60 in
I
this
was
game, elevators
glad you
don't
brought
work,
that up.
and you have to put it dude, that is the worst, like, optimization
You know how many
problem
times
in
I
the
got
game.
the elevator and
every time I
forgot
would
that I had it at fucking not 60, and the elevator did nothing, and I'm stuck in it.
I thought I soft locked the game by getting into an elevator I wasn't supposed to somehow. No, it is an FPS locked elevator, and you have to change it every
It
single
does soft
time.
lock the game, though. Like, you can just get stuck in there if you have the wrong FPS when you go in there, and you have to reload.
The speedrunners must love that. They must love
I would
that
assume
feature.
they just play at 60.
Yeah, someone's speedrunning this game.
People speedrun every form of garbage that exists. They forget about all the Dark Souls, the Souls-like people out there that'll just play anything that's got bonfires in it.
I didn't mind the level design until the Citadel, but Forlo peeped me onto this, and I also played Dark Souls 3, and it was looking oddly familiar, because there's a level in here, the poison level, with the water all over it, where you have to light fires, and there's 3 fires you have to light, and you have to find them in this sewer of garbage. And Forlo taught me that there's a very, very similar level, and after playing both of them, I will say
It's
that
identical.
it's pretty fucking
It's
similar.
brutal. It's brutal how close it is.
It's
like-
bordering plagiarism. I think you could put it to
The-
court.
That level is really, really straight ripped. All the ideas are ripped, but that one they just said fuck it. Like we can't think of another level with shit in it. What did they do? Like that's crazy.
There are some good levels. I can't remember the names of them, but they're good. There's a level that's
The first one.
the first level's alright. I like the city level. There's one new I mean, the meat grinder of the last prison level's alright, except for the walls jump out at you, and I'm not a fan of that. And the level before that, where you're on a bunch of floating platforms that would make no sense. Because sometimes when I'm playing these games, I try to put logic into it, and it's like, well, how much time and effort and manpower actually goes into the architecture of building these elaborate pathways and cathedrals?
Yeah, and then you get to the cathedral and you're like, no way anyone ever made
You never
this.
seen Michelangelo
It's
did?
the most yeah, I mean, the Sistine Chapel is about, like, not that big, but this thing is, like, it just goes on and on and on, and it goes in every which way, and it's like, why all this?
Because vampires did.
Oh, true, but they're not
In
vampires.
Symphony of the Night,
Revenants.
that dude built 2 castles, and one was upside
That
down.
game's peak.
I just like building shit. The
Dooby-doo.
good ending of this game
What is it with
I would
vamp-
not want to do the
the
cathedral
good ending
upside
of this game
down.
sets it up for a sequel, too.
That's not happening.
I hope not. This shit definitely does not deserve it.
I am good on that. Yeah.
They can keep it.
But I there were points where I liked swinging my big fuck you hammer at things. Like, it had enjoyable moments.
I don't know. It just turns into, like, you kill every enemy in, like, 1 or 2 hits, and then you fight like, I hated traversing the level because I just wanted to get to the boss and fight the boss. And then they weren't
And that's the whole point.
yeah, but they made, like, actually getting there just not fun. I had no joy in any of the traversal or, like, the normal enemies.
Yeah, there were just, like, things in the way of you getting to the place you needed to
And I feel like it's so padded out. It's like, well, you gotta get here, and if you could just walk straight there, it would take you 3 seconds, but we're gonna make it so you have to fucking windy road your way to the same point, and how about that fucking fire level?
The fire level
Where you can definitely
is not
see.
part of the
Yeah,
good
no,
level.
it's definitely not part of the good levels where you just fucking catch on fire, and the whole level makes no fucking sense. It's just so hard to find out where you're going sometimes. I got lost so many times.
Oh, I forgot because that's in a memory, you know, because that's like a that's like a insight to the worldview level, you know, and then you have to go back to Cathedral, and then you go through some portals to where you go back to Cathedral again. And if you don't remember where that fucking door was, dude, have fun going through Cathedral all over again. But the fire level sucked, and the boss was mid. And the way to go forward is not like really clear because it makes you go through like hot lava, and you don't want to go through hot lava, but it's not that bad. Rabdo, what was your favorite level?
Honestly, probably. Well, no. Maybe in retrospect, the last level. But like while I was doing it, I hated it.
Is there a good level? I thought they were all pretty shit.
The first
You
one
can't
was
count
mid,
that though.
and the rest of them were bad. Yeah, well, like the city
It was
like,
okay.
I don't mean like the tutorial bit, like it was.
It's all downhill after that.
Honestly,
wasn't
I
good.
thought the
No.
ice level was
Oh,
funny.
fuck that level,
It had
dude.
the
Fuck
most
holes that
funny
just
bits.
fucking appear and you fall in the fucking hole. And then you have to go. It's so stupid.
That got me like twice.
That's 2 times too many. It's stupid.
It is, but I just thought it was funny that because you could see where the ice was gonna break, and you're like, interesting.
Dumb level.
And then you just walk around it.
That level also has a ridiculous amount of ladders to go down to open a purple door, and the purple door ends up being important. I forget how, but it was important. But I have a grudge against that level because that's the level where it locked out my Fion blood code. Because Fion could have given me 20% more damage with the hammer, and that just didn't happen.
Because you didn't
Wait.
pick it up.
You couldn't have had that blood code. That's
you mean?
Nikolai's blood code, I think.
Is it something? Maybe it's called something different? The hammer blood code that I wanted was locked out because of how I did the snow level.
Yeah, the Fion blood code is you get that from him after beating the boss. It is the hammer one though. But you wouldn't have had it yet.
No, that's the one you have to go through to get all the vestiges first, and then when you beat the boss, it's like the only option in the game to have like a choice. You could either like do one thing with the boss or do another thing with the boss,
'Cause it says
but you're locked out of
says
it.
obtained
I'm
after
confused.
defeating the successor of Breath. Is that him? Yeah, no, that's him. That's that boss. That's the ice boss. That's when you get the
And I'm saying I couldn't get the hammer one because I had to get all the vestiges first, and I didn't.
I see
So
what
I
you're
got
saying.
the throat one or the breath one instead.
Because throat's after and breath is this one. It goes riv,
Yeah.
breath, throat. See, as the only person that beat this game recently, I'm a little more tapped in.
I don't remember any of that. I saw if the thing helped my build, then I used it. If it didn't,
I just used
didn't
Queen
use it.
Slayer.
That's what everybody on the internet
Good.
said.
I ran Atlas for most of it, and then I ended up using Heimdall because it's
Is
busted.
that the one with God
Yes.
mode that kills you?
Yeah.
You go too long? Yeah, that. I thought about using that a couple times, but I was like, I can just mash
Yeah.
left click and they're perma stun locked, so I guess not.
I ain't talking about that Fion.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the acting?
It's not terrible. It's not great. It's whatever. At no point I thought this was
They
horrible.
tried their best.
Pretty typical of what I
I
expected.
definitely was not locked in.
There's nothing to lock into.
No, well, that's what I'm saying is like, I don't know. I wasn't interested really in what they had to say.
There's some Kingdom Hearts parallels.
I
was
was a
gonna-
lot
Brenda's
more
eyes twitching.
entertained from.
Kingdom Hearts is a
Kingdom
better
Hearts than
game.
this game.
I'll give it that. And I didn't even like that game.
Damn.
I think Steel Rising is
It's
Steel
not
Rising
looking,
is better.
It's not looking good. Uh-oh.
Not looking good for the scores.
Dude.
I got a score on my
Like,
head.
the only good thing I think you said about this game is it's cool to hit things with a hammer. And is that the only
That goes a long way with me. It'll go when you my score will reflect how much I care about the hammer.
That's crazy though. If this gets even a decent score. Because I don't think you said one other good thing.
Well, because my issue is that I've played a lot of these games deliberately.
You wouldn't play this game if you haven't already played a ton of Souls-likes.
I think this is a good baby's first Souls game.
I think this
agree.
is the baby's first Souls game. You know what I'm
Well, I
saying?
also think it's probably a bad idea because it's like the worst version. Like if you played this and went, yeah, I don't get all the hype for Souls games.
I'd
Yeah.
lose my mind. I'd start tweaking it.
So I don't
Blood
know if
boil.
it's the best like entry point either because of that. Because you could like not like this game and then it'll just like kill the genre for you. But it is like baby easy.
Yeah.
It's probably a better game.
But, like, coming into this game being like, "Oh, there you get a fucking dude, and he heals you when you die, and all your weapons do crazy damage, and you can stagger bosses in 2 hits." Like, I'm looking at it from a different view, and then that kinda wears out quickly when you at some point want a challenge. But then you take your partner off to not, like, have a to have a challenge and not, like, just run through it. And then the boss will hit me with, like, an AoE move that's not seen in other games, um, and it gets me very aggravated. Um, so it's like the game tiptoes around never really hitting that middle ground of where I want it to be, except for in the DLC bosses. I think the DLC bosses are really well designed, at least the fire and the thunder one, not so much the ice one.
There's a lot of bad bosses.
But the DLC did not.
Not allowed DLC. Not allowed to judge on the DLC.
Yeah, the DLC doesn't affect my score at all. I just needed to play it because I said
You did say, and you did do it.
I did want to play this game a second time and a third time.
You wanted,
One
you wanted to play
Yeah, what
several
the
times.
fuck?
Yeah, I at the start before because I was really having a bunch of fun in the first level.
Just
And then I'm like,
loading.
I'm going to, like, plow through this game and beat it as many times as I can this month. But then the Citadel level single-handedly killed that idea. Because even if you know exactly where to go, it is still too long.
Agreed.
You say that about most games.
Also,
Like, I'm gonna play this game multiple times, and then you go play through it like, I'm never playing it again.
Well, yeah, because I did the same thing with Strangers in Paradise. I'm like, I'm going to get level 300 in Strangers in Paradise, and then they fucked all that up too.
He's an optimist,
At heart. In my blood veins.
vein coded.
Vein coded is also a good meme. I do think this game's better than Brave Fencer Musashi and
That-
Indiana Jones.
You think it's better
Pushing the
Grass
than
is green
Indiana
and the
Jones?
sky is
Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm not going there.
crazy, dude. Yeah, do you think it's just because of the titties?
No, I think because I had more than the gameplay to movie ratio was way better in this game.
Is your
What?
goon brain being
What are you talking about?
The movie ratio of the game was
But you-
horrendous.
Hello?
The
No,
cutscenes
he was
were
that's
saying
the
that
one
about
thing
Indiana
that
Jones that it
was-
had too many cutscenes, and this game had more gameplay.
I'm
I mean-
saying that about Code
Well,
Vein.
the Code Vein does have needlessly long cutscenes.
Anytime you ever got any fucking anything, you're like,
And there's a movie.
oh, go to the fucking ghost realm and walk around about it for 20 minutes. Like, what do you mean there's more fucking
Where you go back to the
gameplay?
base and they're like,
nice
we're gonna
try.
repeat the whole story.
Nice fucking try, dude. Neither of them are great for it, but this one's not a better fucking
That is a crazy
alternative to
take.
not watching cutscenes.
Yeah, I think Your brain's
If you-
gooned.
Honestly, if I really here and I think if you line it end to end and you look at the amount of cutscene time in Indiana Jones and in Code Vein, it's probably equal.
You have
Probably
to
pretty close.
you have to imagine that the individual cutscenes in Indiana Jones are better. At least the story is like followable.
Well, I will take that from anyone besides you. You start skipping cutscenes in the first level.
Because they were terrible.
Of what game? This game?
Yeah,
Bro.
all of them.
How can you even rejected, dude?
I'll take shit from all other voices
watched
in the
every
chat.
cutscene.
But I saw you on first level skip a cutscene, and I'm like, I can't, dude.
And I do, and I know the exact same amount of storyline as you do. Because this game is ass.
That's fair. I'll accept that take.
I'm telling you, if I was getting, it was in ear. The ones I didn't skip, it was in one ear, out the other. I'm like, what did I even just watch? What was even the point of me watching that? I have no fucking clue what's going on. At that point, I would have quit the game, but because we're doing book club, I was like, all right, well, I'll just press on.
How many times did you walk through the blue think about it section before unlocking your blood code?
Just twice.
I was close. I will concede that those blue sections, after 5 of those, I stopped watching
What do
them.
you mean stop? You have to watch them though. What do you
No,
mean?
you don't.
You can skip
You
'em.
guys are fucking 8 gamers, bro. We got save
I-
staters, fucking
That's fact, bro.
skippers,
Didn't even-
fucking.
Save staters.
I did not save state Brave Fencer Musashi, and that is in my games I've beaten document, is that I beat
that
it
on
without
Brave
save
stuff.
states.
Can't say the same about Baroque.
No. No, Baroque
No,
was
it
not
Baroque you.
happening.
Yeah.
It
Jesus.
Baroque me,
Yeah.
you say.
You
Nice.
guys are fucking deranged.
You're fucking working on my island.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking strays.
I give this game a 6.
All because of a hammer
Solid 5.
All because of the hammer.
and his gooned out gourd.
The hammer probably gave it an extra
And your
point,
gooned
yeah.
out gourd.
I'm not diametrically opposed to the gooner shit in this game.
It's a
That's the
little-
thing.
It's
Is
over
that
the top.
I don't care either way. It got a
Yeah,
little
I was
bit
gonna
too
say,
much.
It's definitely too much. Like to the point where it's just like cringe.
It's not a game you want like your relatives coming in to watch you play.
What's the Forlo score?
In between 2 really shitty numbers.
That's a good sign.
and I don't care enough, I think, to give it the extra half point.
Damn.
So 4.5 is my score.
Oh god.
Oh.
I don't know. It wasn't that there was anything like particularly like bad outright about the game. It's just it wasn't unique in any way. It's the same formula I've seen a bajillion times. The story didn't add to it. They had no unique gameplay things like we talked about. I wasn't mad or thought it was a slog playing through it. So like I mean it's still a playable Souls-like by all means, but
That's what
it's
I'm
like
saying.
at the bottom of my Souls list for sure, by a pretty good margin.
I'm very neutral in the game.
I gave it a 5, dude, right in the middle.
It's like it didn't make me want to shoot myself out of a cannon. But I definitely didn't enjoy it.
A 5
I-
band.
I think it's a 6.
And the story was horrendous.
which really pisses me off because
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Whoa. Hold on. You said it's better than Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts is better.
Or it was worse than Kingdom Hearts. But
I
what did
don't
you give
know.
Kingdom Hearts?
Bad score. Here's my
It was
issue
like
with that. I feel like Kingdom Hearts, I think it's pretentious. I think the overhypedness of it definitely. There was other factors that lowered the score. It's probably the better game. I don't even like giving this a 6 because Frank clearly enjoyed the game a lot more than I did. But it just feels like a 6.
Well,
And I don't
'cause,
like the game.
I'm not delusional, okay? The points to which I enjoy the game are not enough to bring the score higher than a 6. If I had to include the DLC, it might add
I
an
gotta
extra
bail
half
'cause I
point,
just
but I'm not
remembered
gonna
2
do
things.
that. Like,
One, the fucking elevator, so that's gonna bring it a 5. I forgot that. I didn't factor that in. And it has no ultra wide. So, it's a 5.
It's locked in at the
now I'm alone in 6 land,
I forgot about
dude.
the elevator.
You're
That's
all
like a
alone in
massively
six verse.
fucking bad bug that was never
That's
patched
huge, yeah.
because this is an old ass game. Essentially, it came out like 5 years ago now. So they never fixed it. Yeah, I
2020.
forgot about that.
Yeah, that's brutal. And Tying animation to frame rate has single-handedly made games worse forever, and I understood it at some point, I do not understand it now. As soon as you were able to not have your physics engine tied to the frame rate, they should have stopped that forever.
Well, and
That's why we don't have
this
Bloodborne
isn't
on
like an
PC.
old game. Like, I
It's
get
the
it with
worst.
older games, but yeah, this shit came out in 2020. It shouldn't have, like, legit game-breaking bug that never got fixed on PC. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can avoid it easily, but yeah, it's a
Yeah,
problem. It's a
huge glaring
5.
flaw.
You could avoid it like I did by
What
having
do
a
you
computer
mean?
that wasn't that good.
Can't run it past 60?
I wasn't. I
I
wasn't.
was hitting,
I
like
was getting exactly 60.
That's wild because I purposely also picked a game that was not locked at 60, and you played it at 60 anyway, which is hilarious.
But that's all I could get. This is before the vape chamber.
Meraxis.
Shout out to the vape chamber.
Now, dude, if I boot it up now, I'd probably get easily
Yeah, then you
crash
can't use an
120.
elevator.
And then I can't use
Can
it.
we call your
Luckily,
graphics card the Meraxis? Colin brought up a good point.
I don't know what that is.
That you gotta
Mar-
be tapped in.
I'm not tapped into
It's
It's
the
hunks of
Marlon
metal that
Meraxis,
you can vape out of.
Don't
Any
play
final
it.
thoughts
It's not
on this
worth
game?
playing. There's so many better games to waste your time on.
Yeah, it's like in a market that's of like Souls-like games. There's
Like, if it had if it had a good story, I'd be like, yeah, the gameplay sucks, but the story's fire. Or if the gameplay was good, but it doesn't have any redeeming quality that I can think of.
Yeah,
Like,
if
anything
you
that
want
you
an
would
AI
want.
Souls-like, not an AI. If you want an anime Souls-like, play AI Limited. But again, that's not fair because AI Limited just came out, so there was really nothing to compare it to. Because before I was like, oh, this is the only like anime Souls-like that I know of. But that's not the case now.
Crazy.
Orlo,
Closing remark: this game's
What would you give Animal Crossing?
nice.
a
I didn't think it
playable
was that
game.
bad.
What? Which
Is it
one,
a
dude?
better or worse Souls-like than Lords of the Fallen?
Ooh.
Oh God. To be fair to this game, Lords of the Fallen had way like cheaper story and like enemy design, but it had some unique gameplay aspects. So I'd say
Damn.
probably Lords of the Fallen edges is out, although they're both not a game.
Dude, Lords of the
anyone
Fallen
should
gets talked about like it's a good ass game. I see it.
I don't know what the fuck people are smoking when they talk about Lords of the Fallen. That shit's so much ass. It's like the whole mechanic that's like, oh, it's cool is that you go into this other realm. You have your ghost lantern. Ooh. But then they only make you ever do that for stupid sections like, oh, of course the bridge is destroyed here. But if you go into ghost mode, the bridge is back. And then you pull out your fucking lantern and you take a step, and there's an enemy that insta spawn one taps, and you get staggered. Your lantern goes down, and you fall and you die. And you're like, dude, I'm so
Peak,
glad this
dude.
is a mechanic in a Souls game. I can't move or attack or dodge. I just have to hold my lantern and hope.
And before the audience starts shitting on Forlo did beat this game, and he beat it with the fucking buckets. So
The game's fucking also goo goo gaga, just like all the fucking rest of these Souls like fakos.
I still, it is burned in my mind. You climbing the whole mountain and then getting belled off the tower from an unseeable AOE insta kill move.
Yeah, you think AoEs in this game are bad? That
Yeah.
guy pre-fired. He had it charged and was ripping it as I saw him for the first time. I saw and heard him as the AoE wave was traveling towards me. Like, okay. And of course, my back's to a ledge. Insta kill guaranteed every player who's ever walked up that staircase.
Part of the charm.
That's not what it's meant. Like, people get the it's supposed to be hard part wrong. It's not supposed to be hard because it's literally you guaranteed have to take a death here, and then you'll know what to do next time. Like, if you're good enough or look at the context clues enough, there should be insight you're given on those sorts of things. But in these two games, they kind of just either have an enemy with their sword poking 6 meters up the wall, so you know they're hiding there, or they
Which
give you
was
no clue
hilarious.
whatsoever, and they just push you into a hole. Instantly, you die. You're fucked. So I don't know. A lot of these Souls-like clones get that hard for the sake of hard wrong. They just make it. They want people to die instead of actually making it a challenge.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest gripe with Souls boss design. I mean, not Souls boss design. Code Vein's boss design is that it seems like every boss from halfway up does have this ridiculously large, unknowable until you see it happening already AoE that will just chunk a life out of you. And it's straight from the Citadel to the final boss. Every single one has them. Because you think it's like they're changing phases. No, they're getting ready to nuke you. And you know what? I think that's the last thing I'll say about this
Highest
game.
rated game, dude. Out of
Blood.
everybody. He saw what we didn't.
The truth.
There's a lot of blood.
My game time, dude. That's a new game.
Colin, what
Just
could your
came
game
out, and I told
possibly be?
everybody. So
Oh,
it's of no surprise, dude.
oh
that so?
shit.
Claire Obscure. Expedition 33, as Brad would put it.
Highly
A
acclaimed.
game where you don't have to skip the cutscenes, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Gaming, dude. Comments on it, nobody's going, ooh.
Can't wait. In fact, I'm not waiting.
I'm stoked because it looks great. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about playing a turn-based game again.
Oh, you don't even
But
know what it is
I have
for
no
them?
idea what the fuck the game's about. So
Oh.
no, I have
We
no
gotta-
idea what the fuck it is. So
which is
I'm
fair
just
because I
gonna-
didn't know either, and I've been told already too. So it's like,
Lock in, dude.
Stick
Well, now you
around.
know, lock in.
You'll be getting
Need
it.
that link though.
Don't worry. It must be.
I think that's the show.
We're here.